Okay, screw it. We're going live.
Let's do this.
What is happening, crew? We got the B man, aka Farmer Johnny, aka Farmer Junior,
Yeah.
here on beautiful Themis Farms, loving on all my fuzzy brothers and sisters. Dad, how's the boat?
The boat is dandy. It's a gorgeous sunny day here in San Diego. 72 degrees Fahrenheit. So lovely day. Just finished. Anyone that's ever eaten at Cheesecake Factory, Elizabeth and I met there for lunch today down on the water. It was lovely, but massive meal. And so if I fall asleep or start, snoring or snoozing during the video, just sort of, smack me, Brent. Wake me up.
Wham!
Wham!
What's going on, crew? Hey, Joanna.
Nice. Joanna's in the house.
Becky
That a
made
girl.
it. Oh, these are our people.
Yeah,
there is so much to talk about and follow in the space, Christian, and man, we're going to cover some ground today.
Yeah.
I got 3 pages of notes in front of me, another 5 in my head. Dad's got probably about 1,000. So I was just watching our Patreon video, the one my dad posted this morning, and wrote down 2 things. One was only in crypto. Okay.
Yeah.
And the one that I really loved is moving money is magical. And Dad, you got into kind of your passion with all this in researching it and getting into not just crypto, but you've been a trader and you've worked with people with a lot of money, and so have I, and we see what that all looks like.
Yeah.
And I was listening to something else this morning. It was this short that Mark Moss did, and he kind of gave that general, like, okay, if Joe the plumber has $20 and he pays his pizza guy with that $20, and the pizza guy pays his landlord with the $20, and then the landlord needs some plumbing work done, and he gives that $20 back to Joe the plumber. That, to me, is true economy. That is true exchange. That is true trade in a system. And I'm so excited to see it take more of a stronger, harder mold in the future with crypto.
Yeah.
I got this video in my head, Dad. Right now I'm calling it true adoption. And that's just it, is I think we're all still in hodl mode because 5% of the planet even owns or knows about this stuff. Certainly not to the extent that we the crew are all into it. And so when that 5% goes up to like a 10%, now it's not 1 out of every 20 people that you come across is willing to maybe trade with you, crypto to crypto. Hey, you got a wallet? Dude, I got a wallet. Hey, you like XRP? Cool, man. Let me give you some of that for some work. Or let me work for you for some of that. And that is the true adoption that got me so excited to be in this and to continue to study it and have a passion for it, is when all of us create that true economy with each other. And the beauty of blockchain and crypto, as we know, is it cuts the middleman out. We've already paid the taxes, we've already paid the fees, we've already done all the BS to get that currency. We've used our currency to buy these assets. Now, with these assets, do we have to cash them in for for money so that we can buy other things with it, or is
Yeah.
I think the true adoption, the true future of it is us at that point of, okay, well, we don't want to pay fees. We already paid taxes to get this. Why not just start exchanging it with each other?
Right.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah. So
And
key.
it's still a little down the road. We're still in hodl mode. Um, we're still looking to see those assets appreciate. And I knock price all day long, but we all want to see the price go up on this thing, um, so that we can attain other assets. And
Yeah.
I'm excited, man. I'm very
It's a
excited.
you bring up something that we don't talk about enough, I don't think. That peer-to-peer energy that the thing really provides us all. It's there's Shorty. Hey,
Shorty.
there's my cat.
Uh huh.
Uh,
Half cat, half
so
spider monkey.
right.
Look
Yeah,
at
she's got some
this little
spider monkey.
monkey tail.
So one of the things that we don't bring up enough as well is it's kind of a lucky thing in some ways, but a beautiful thing in some other ways. Is crypto doesn't, I've talked about this before, but crypto doesn't have any debt associated with it. So that middleman, which you speak of, is the middleman, is become the biggest part of the Trinity, right? The wedge in between, Mr. Jones and Mr. Smith, right? Is this giant wedge, which is give me mine, right? Because you owe me. For instance, okay, if you look at your mortgage and your car payments, 90% of all those payments are debt. Okay, interest payments. A lot of people don't do the math on this, but let's say you have a 5% interest, right? Well, in particular, home loan. Well, you're not paying, you're paying 95% in interest that month. Nobody looks at it like that, but it's true. Okay. Because you have a 5% interest rate and it's all going to interest the first 5-10 years. So you didn't get a 3% interest rate on your home. You got a 95% interest rate on your loan. So you're paying all those fees to who? Bank. Again, the middle guy. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he loaned me the money. Well, no, he didn't. He created the money. So the dollar has all this dollar creation mechanism that favors the top. Instead, you and I are dealing with like almost the same as cash or coin in the old days, with crypto, and it has no debt associated to it. You didn't borrow to own it or borrow to purchase something with it. So it's huge, and it's down the line. More of us are going to understand really what that means to our pockets and our economies. But what's really happening with that, all of that today, is as numbers go up, you and I are going to have more spendable income in which to transact. And we talk about it a lot, but there's never been anything ever threaten money before in the history of man like crypto does. And I don't mean the word threaten lightly, I mean replace money. And by doing that, you're creating, well, we just passed $2 trillion in the crypto exchange, right? So if we're at $2.2 trillion, that's $2.2 trillion outside of their system, right? That means that you and I, whoever owns coins all over the world, we have $2 trillion worth of value to us that we could spend on anything we want. That number is going to 10x, and it's pretty close to 10x in the next 5 years. Okay.
Yeah.
You and I are going to be a financial force to be reckoned with, because it's a whole nother story. But I mean, I know we all heard about the credit card that came out that you can associate your crypto to it. Many of you who haven't heard about it, it's really slick. It's really cool. It's very beginning stages. It's a bit complicated yet, but very soon you're going to be able to just say, yeah, okay, I want to put 10 grand in XRP in my credit card and just spend your credit card in 150 million locations around the planet. Well, those days are coming. Okay. It's going to be like a debit card, but it says Visa on it. Well, those days are coming. And when you see XRP, for instance, go to $15, that's going to create hundreds of billions of dollars in equity to you. Financial lubrication for the old greased up wheel of our economy. That means you're going to run out and buy things, you're going to create more economy, and you're going to do it without debt. This is huge.
Hello.
So you're creating a non-debt instrument, which is going to change the liquidity of honest money in the market. Because we know the old system, if we were to pay, we can't pay off our debts. No. You have to create, to pay interest back, you have to create more than what you borrow. That's math, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you borrowed $100 at 5% interest, you got to come up with $105. Period. That's so. Where's the $5 come from?
You're gonna have to create it.
You got to print it. You got to create more. Yeah. Well, you and I are creating a big problem for banking liquidity going forward.
Yeah.
Because we're going to pay our debts. We're going to pay for it cash. We're going to be cash rich. We're going to be a generational wealth that is going to blow people's minds in the next 5 to 10 years.
And why? Because we use tools like this, and we, as mostly honest people, are accountable to each other, and we hold each other to a standard in our communities, and we go and pay our debts.
That's right.
The man doesn't seem interested in that. They seem interested in the $105, the magical $105 when there was only 100 to be had.
Right. Yeah.
Not a sustainable system.
No, that's right. They created a job for themselves the day they created a central banking system or Federal Reserve, because the moment the Treasury borrowed money, they owed money that they didn't have.
Yeah.
They created themselves a job. That's what they did. Hey, I just saw there's a fine bottle of tequila back here in the camera.
Whoa.
Look at that.
Careful, Mr. 6 years sober. Careful.
Yeah, no, I won't be drinking. There. This boat is like up to somewhere in here in alcohol, and I am not even the least bit tempted. So yeah, I just noticed it in the camera shot. I was like, hey, there's tequila there.
I go to that boat and I get myself in trouble. Hey, welcome in Simon, Lisa, Brittany, Alspon, Alchemist. What up? Yeah, we're us Bitcoin maxis, right, brother?
Yeah, right.
You put it down their neck, didn't you, Dad?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I love it, man. I'm on the same page with my old man. I mean, Bitcoin is a just ginormous, amazing indicator for all of us and all the other projects that we're looking at. And we get to be scientists and sit back, and if we're not into it, and see what it does with economics, globally. And its adoption will only lead to further adoption for everything else. And so that's why we're looking at it. It's huge.
Bitcoin right now is some serious in-your-face math if you're a globalist banker. It's math in your face, pal. Like, it's a lot harder sometimes when it's like, there's 100 billion XRP coins. It's like, there's there's no stress to hurry up, run up and grab a bunch of them, you know? It's just less obvious to people at this point. You know, Joe Schmo in the street, you know.
Yep.
Scarcity means a lot, you know. It's one of the things I struggle the most with technical analysis is there's nothing, there's no indicate, there's no RSI that has, oh, but there's a limited supply of whatever the RSI is trading. There's no calculation for that. That's a big factor, guys. You know, it's like, how do you set up a technical analysis trading for, I don't know, the 100 Rembrandt paintings there are? You can't. How would you, like, it's got a limited supply. We only know there's so many paintings, and how are you ever going to, you know, chart it?
Yeah.
It's really, we're in a different era now, and believe it or not, even XRP has a limited amount, and they're going to burn more of these coins as the more it gets used, and that's going to diminish it. Saw some ridiculous thing where, I don't know, I don't really follow Shiba Inu a whole lot, but they're like burning a trillion
Yeah.
coins a minute, or
Yeah.
total exaggeration, but like they're burning
Yeah.
a lot of coins, like often. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like everybody who has control over it's like, I want to get rich now. Let's burn all the coins. Okay, plan. Yeah,
Yep.
which is fun. That's fun if you've got them.
It
Yeah,
is.
fun stuff.
We got some. Dad can't see the chat today. He says
No,
on
I
his phone.
can't.
Oh, you can?
I can't. Keep shutting my
Oh,
camera off every time I click on chat. I don't know what's up with that.
oh man, we got some great comments. Uh, Becky, yeah, they want serfs, not citizens.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Talking about citizenship is just getting harder and harder. Chris88, what's up, bro? If someone had 1,000 to put into crypto, what would you put into now?
If I didn't have anything else, if that was just my $1,000, my first time going.
Just your $1,000, Big Al.
First of all, it depends on how old I was. Second of all, it depends on what's your job like. Third, and then I would say, well, if you're over the age of 60, that'd be a different factor. But throwing all that to the side, what's your time factor is another thing. I mean, do you have 5 years to wait?
Yeah.
That's huge. So, with all the disclaimers out of the way, it's hard for me to look past XRP with that kind of money.
Mm-hmm.
If I've got $1,000, that gets me roughly 2,000 XRP coins. But like I really want to express this because 2 videos ago I did, and I got a lot of grief about it. I don't know why, but you have to diversify, because one thing I didn't say in the video that I really wanted to say, and I'm going to say it right now so you can hear it. You need to have more than one coin. And I'm not saying you need to buy Bitcoin with $1,000 account. I don't think that's a wise and prudent investment if that's all the money you have. But you need to pick your other coin, XRP and another coin. Here's why. You have judges, you have governments, but it's even bigger than that. You have code. And I don't think they could ever crack XRP code. That's not what I'm saying when I say this. But if it were to have a massive failure or breach, you're done. You're coin out. That's not a good position for you. Okay. Yeah. Maybe $1,000 doesn't mean all that much to you, but a lot of people have their lives riding on these coins. And if you only have XRP, and XRP has a glitch like Solana seems to have every other week, of course, they come back because they're backed by a hedge fund, by the way, guys. Venture capital is completely behind Solana, and they're major corporations. All that to say, you have to diversify to some extent. My favorite and cheaper coin that I love a lot. I think the world of this project, and it's XDC. If you're going to buy a cheaper coin that has a bright future, that every time I open a document about Ripple, it's got it in there somewhere of global banking systems. And I'm just like, okay, I don't have to read that any more times to understand it has a fundamental future. So I like those two. If I was just going to maybe, if I only had $1,000 to invest,
Yep.
I don't get me wrong. SHX is big. I kind of got into that a few months back. I think it's kind of top heavy right now. I don't know. I don't know that I jump into that right now. I don't like coins when they've been 30x'd.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it's kind of hard to get into them at that point.
Yeah. Good call on that, Dad. Not that you told anybody to buy any, because you didn't.
I never
Uh,
said fine.
but some crew members bought it, man,
A
and
lot of
they
people bought it.
they got a 30x ride on that, which is so fun,
Good for
so
them.
exciting. I love
Yeah,
that. Um, yeah. Thanks for the question, Chris. Uh, I've had, I bought into the bot, which we'll talk about in a bit here. But after that, I've only been buying XRP to load up, um, because it's XRP, man. Yeah,
right.
we got some comments in the chat. They're building. We did a video and we talked about it live, about AMM, and it's going to be really big, and it's getting adopted, and it's
It
happening.
is adopted.
So
Yeah,
yeah, it's adopted. Yeah, it's it's
yeah.
here. Um, and
Spring
yeah.
of 25, I think it's going to be huge. And but I do think now I'm putting my prediction hat on because anybody that tells you they know where it's going, just shut the channel off. They have no idea where the hell it's going. I mean, these technical analysis. Oh, it's got to go here, and this Fibonacci, and it's going to go there. They're all probabilities. That's all they are, right?
Mm.
It's more probable to go where they think it's going to go. It's making new higher highs and higher lows. Of course, yeah. Follow the trends until the end, but you don't know. Could stop and go the other way. But the only, the only thing I have to say about that is I think that it not only does it have the fundamental future, it has thousand. I think they're up to 1,000 employees globally. I don't know how much else you need to know about a company that's 55 cents. You know,
Yeah.
um, it has no overhead and has, last I heard, what was it, $13 billion in cash reserves or something, plus 40 billion coins in reserves or in escrow. That's a
Hmm.
cash flush company. Ripple is stupid value. Just anyway, it's a good investment. Not
Right.
advice, but a good
We like it
investment.
around here.
Yeah,
We like it. Dad Simon says, "Burn, baby, burn, crypto inferno,
that's
burn, baby,
nice.
burn."
Yeah,
Yeah, let's.
those of
Hey,
you old enough to know what that song is in reference to. Yeah,
yeah. I'm an '80s love child, so I'm into
yeah,
it. Um,
that's 70s.
yeah, that was '70s, huh?
Yeah,
That was disco,
disco.
baby. Um, yeah, let's talk about the bot. Northern couldn't make it. So we did a meetup video last night. I think there's a few of you in here that got to join, and obviously, if you're into the bot, and you've linked up with Simon, you can see how easy it is to get going. Right now, they're doing it for Coinbase, Kraken, and Binance US. Um, so you're just taking. Let me break it down very simply here. You're just essentially. It's so easy, man. You go into your exchange. You take your API key. You plug that into the bot. You pick your pairs. Bot starts trading for you. I mean, it is that easy. And for some of us like me, I think the same thing happened for Simon. Is my bot didn't make a trade for 3 weeks to a month, um, which is common. It's trying to gauge the volatility and runs in the market, and it's trying to buy it, sell at different points. And when I got started about 5 months ago, it was very steady Eddie for a while. And then when we got a little more pump, and everybody's like, "Oh, is this the bull?" Then you start seeing those buys. And now I think I started my account. I know their advice. We got to talk to the creator, and it's start with a low amount that you can just kind of say, "Hey, no big deal." I started my first one. I'm going to add another one, but I started with $180. It's already at 255. Whatever percentage gain that is, like 30 something percent. I'll take that all day long, folks. In anything,
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. And it's writing something that Simon said, and I wrote it down, and it stuck with me. Do what the bot is doing. Think about that, folks. So,
Money.
so you so you you get this, you get going on this tool, man, and it's running. It's showing you what it's buying and selling, showing you. And it's
Yeah.
set up to do that. So you can go and look at your history and you'd be like, "Oh wow, man, this thing really likes Digibyte right now. This thing really likes, Litecoin right now. This thing."
Yeah.
And so it's just another dimension of the tool that you can utilize and look at. Um,
And
you
it's
know,
it's it's very conservative in its purchasing. It
mhm.
waits till everything, all the planets align. It could take riskier trades, but it doesn't. It's insanely conservative. And the other thing is too is you can see when it's got three lights on the dashboard. When it has two of those lights lit up, that might be a time for you to look for an entry point on the coin that it's looking at. You
Right.
might go, "Oh wow, okay, I see why it's all lined up here. It's lining up and it's waiting for this last trigger." And you might have your own trigger in that point, thinking, "Okay, well, if it goes there, I'm taking the long, and if it goes there, I'm not." Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could play with that thing. I don't know enough about it. I was there to learn yesterday. I really got a lot out of that. I got there kind of late and had to leave early, but it was
Yeah.
Simon's in the chat. He's a wealth of information. If you guys don't know anything about it, I don't know what rock you've been under,
Right.
but but you can get a hold of Simon and figure out what he can do for you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Simon, if you'd put a contact in here in the chat, yeah, Cryptic Gamer. We've been beta testing a crypto trading bot. Yeah, I was in the meeting for 6 hours yesterday. We were all just chatting up a storm, and I thought the world of the creator of it, and super happy with it so far. And they've been generous enough, Simon and the creator, to be able to share this with people. He originally kind of created it for himself to do it, and then he really opened the doors. And through us being connected with Simon and our community, we have the opportunity to be a part of this beta testing. So if anybody's interested in that, I told you my story and how it's gone so far in 5 months. Super happy. I put an amount of money into it that I was happy to light on fire, and I'm just going to let the thing run through the next bull run. That's my plan. Um,
Nice.
I want to see what she does. And there's also some really trick features on it too. Very simple. But there's like a hodl list. So if your bot has purchased, said coins that you're like, okay, hey man, this thing's just running. Okay, I just want to own this. You can put that coin on your hodl list and it'll hold it. So very cool little features, and they're also talking about adding some other things to it, and improving upon it. So
Yeah.
still a work, but it's going great so far. Yeah, let it run, baby. Let it run.
I had like 3 questions, and by the time they got to answer my question, they had already answered it from somebody else. It was great. Yeah. I was wondering where the commissions are. Is it on top of the trade? Is it into the trade? Because sometimes that can be a pain in the neck, commissions and
Let's see.
spreads. So, and then I got my answer, which is it's kind of built into the trade, which is awesome.
Can y'all still see us and hear us? We're on the boat in the farm, so it could be a little spotty.
Yeah. You're kind of on my screen. I'm clear, but you're a little.
Okay. Yeah, we've cut out for a minute there.
You're
Yeah,
in and out.
we're good.
Yeah. Okay.
We're good. We got 90 crew members here in the live, Dad.
Nice. I'm really I want
all of you on this Sunday.
I wanted to explain to everybody why we weren't here last Sunday. Brent, where were you, son?
I was
screwing around.
Yeah, I was visiting family. I'm still lucky enough to have 2 of my grandparents, and they, when they can, come to visit Mammoth, where my dad and I are from. Mammoth Mountain, for folks that have heard of it, such a cool place to grow up. It's northern Eastern Sierras, which is just my absolute favorite part of this state, and really of this country. And I've been all over. So just going back home and enjoying that, seeing the Super Bowl with all them was a blast. My mom's a Chiefs fan, so she's a Patrick Mahomes gal. I'm not, I'm a cursed Chargers fan, so but I ended up rooting for my mom at the end of the game because that's what good kids do.
What you do, yeah.
What you do, folks.
I used to be an intense football fan, like intense, and then when I watch football now, I just hope nobody gets hurt.
Yeah, me too.
Like literally,
man.
that's the only thing I hope. I don't care who wins. It's weird. I look at the game totally different than I ever used to, but
yeah,
it's a beautiful game for what it is. Yeah.
Hey, Dad, I gotta run on something real fast here.
What do you got?
OG Mac just joined us in the house. Everybody, AKA Ghost, AKA
Nice.
Ghost Money. Okay, I'm writing it down in the chat right now. I'm gonna tell you a little. What do you got?
I just watched his video yesterday. Yesterday I commented on it, so I'm sure you got the comment. Yeah, really good video. He's doing a great job. I love his editing. Something I don't do much of, but yeah,
no, we don't.
It was really a good show. Yeah, I highly recommend it, guys.
His channel, you guys. Let me talk to you guys directly, man. Your thumbnails, your titles, your editing. He includes graphics and then also like videos from the companies. Like he just did a Stronghold video that, from what I last saw, was at 902 views, folks. Okay, he's 24 videos in, and let me tell you how important it is to get to 1,000 videos as a creator like this.
Views, yeah.
I still remember our first 3. It was Reggie Middleton, Veritasium. It was XRP Dreams, and
Yeah.
then El Salvador caught up. Okay.
Yeah.
What the 1,000 views does is it shoots you out there. And
It's
then
huge. Yeah.
and then you start going towards 1,000 subs, and going towards 1,000 subs is how all of you found us. Period. I mean, you might have come in a little bit later, but when you can get to that point, you 1,000 subscribers is just the golden sweet spot. And getting your first videos within your first 50 videos to have 1,000 views is so huge. So please, everybody, go get our boys Stronghold video, which was very good. Um, he keeps his videos tight. He is clear and concise. My boy is buttoned up. Okay, that's who he is. So let's go
Yeah.
support him because he is one of us, man. And he always brings positivity into this chat. And it means the world to people like us who want to come out here and share in this way about crypto and blockchain. That's clearly who he is. So
Yeah.
much love to you, bro. I had to say all that because we love you, man.
Yeah, he's got a bright future. Like Brent just said, he's really sharp. I don't know why you're even watching this show. Let's just put it that way. You got his show.
Go to Ghost Money.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
You could be watching somebody good.
Right.
So he's very, really impressed with his show. I think I've only seen like 2 or 3 now, but the one came across my feed. I think it was yesterday. And I was like, man, I go, wow, I know that guy. I know that guy. That was cool.
So cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for posting the link, Joanna.
Yeah.
Alchemist says 52,363. It's going up today.
Yeah, I noticed right before we went live, everybody's green right now. I kind of a move in XRP this morning. I noticed late morning. That's kind of cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it hit 58 the other day, and I haven't charted it out. Maybe Simon has. I think the new number is lower than 75 cents now. So the new breakout number has got to be somewhere around 70 cents. So we got to be getting close, guys. Yeah. And that breakout is going to have some energy behind it. It really is. Oh, I read some really cool numbers the other day. Oh, man.
What do you got?
I just don't think there's going to be a recession, guys. I know everybody's telling me that. And everybody's saying, I'm looking at the numbers and it's like, and I'm not talking about political numbers, and I'm not talking about mainstream MSNBC or any of those, or Bloomberg. I'm talking about banking numbers and what banks aren't loaning right now. Okay. But the last time they reached this level of lack of loaning, they were there was an injection of liquidity that completely flipped 2012 around. And a lot of people don't remember that, but that was a big move. And it's happening right now. I really believe that, like, I know a lot of people still, let's get back to what I talk about all the time. The last indicator of that you're in a recession is job market. Okay. And I don't believe anything those people say. Okay. They're all full of it. There's way more people unemployed than they talk about. We know that. But that's the last indicator. That tells you the recession's nearing end. That's not the beginning of a crash or a recession. Almost always. Unless you have a complete depression, and then everybody loses their jobs. And currently, I don't see that happening. There's too much money floating around. There's too much of it out there. There's too many people still spending it. And until that tightens up, you can't have a depression. So, and I really, really believe, I say this a lot on this channel, but it's so important. As I said in the beginning of the video, when you and I become well off. Like there's a lot of people that have a ton of XRP. And if XRP even takes $5 or $10 number out, people are going to spend a lot of money. People are
Mhm.
going to just think what that means to all the Cardano people and all the Ethereum people and all the Bitcoin people. And like all of the people just in crypto are going to spend that extra $1 trillion that's going to be into that market because people are going to pile in. And as they pile in with that $1 trillion of liquidity, you got $1 trillion richer, whatever your percentage of that crypto pie is. That means you're going to change your life. You're going to do something to set something in motion to create economy. And that I'm just saying, guys, because everybody's starting to figure out if you own assets, you'll be fine. You have a hedge against a depression or recession. So once you have these assets, it's up to you to manage them properly. And when you're in a semi-bull market like we are right now, number go up, everybody feels good, and you feel more apt to spend money, and that creates more liquidity, and that's a perpetual liquidity into the market and injections, and they're going to spend more because of the election year, and then we got the halving, and I don't know. I just don't see doomsday, and I hear a lot of people preach doomsday, but I don't see it.
Yeah.
But I'm wrong a lot.
I think that was all really well put, Dad. I mean, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
It's yeah, I keep bringing it up on here, but it's like why I'm looking at Bitcoin the way I do is a lot of people everywhere have heard that word.
Yeah.
People have heard the word Bitcoin. And so when it goes up, you've
Yeah.
got all these other people in this true adoption I'm talking about where when we hit this bull and all these people are like, oh, whoa, man, yeah, crypto. All of a sudden people start talking to you about it again. They haven't been talking about it with us for the last year and a half, but once they start chirping about it again, they're gonna, okay, man, I got $500, I got $1,000 to spend. What's this thing about? And they're gonna go on the exchange and they're gonna look at everything. They're gonna be like, well, I can't afford Bitcoin. I don't, because they don't understand what a Satoshi is. So they're gonna look at your projects. They're gonna look at the projects that you and I are passionate about, and then they're gonna ask their friends about it, and that's us.
Yeah.
And all that is going to flow into it. You got your corporate, you got your banking, you got your governments flowing into it. But the most important part, us buying into it, us owning it, us having it, and eventually us trading it with each other.
Right. And
That's
let's
it.
remember your broker dealers can't sell their ETFs yet. The ETFs themselves can sell them because they're under the legal ability to do so because they applied and got their avenue to sell it. But if you go down the street to whoever broker, Joe Schmo broker, which is the massive amount of money, he can't sell it yet because they have anywhere between, depending on the house they are, between 60 to 90 days before they can even sell it to their clientele. So the roar that you hear right now is nothing compared to what it'll be, I would say, within 30 to 60 days from now, because we're just 30, whatever it is, 40 days in now. Then the next big roar, right about the time you think, oh, well, people are kind of getting tired of buying or hearing about the Bitcoin ETF, which I think is going to be years from now, because all you need to do is look at BlackRock's goals, and BlackRock goal is 1%. And for them to get a 1% allocation, it's going to take them 2 years of steady buying every week. 2 years, guys, just to get a 1% allocation. All right. So what's going to happen is Ethereum's going to get cleared next. That'll be the next wave, because look how many people are freaks about Ethereum. I mean, I don't want anything else. it's the master plan. I got it all figured out. You people, the Ripple and the XRP, and you Bitcoin people who are just lost your minds, and Cardano sucks. I'm only Ethereum. Well, that crowd is going to talk to everybody they know. And then all the ETFs are going to rush into that guy, right? And then what is that? 6 months from now, right? But what happens at, say, towards the end of the year? Maybe or next spring. I'm looking at like XRP ETF. I mean, we know they filed. We know they filed. So are they going to get granted? I don't know. I don't know how you could say, well, you can do it with Bitcoin, you can do it with Ethereum, but you can't do it with, I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it's a wave after the next wave after the next wave. And oh, I'm sorry. How many coins do we have? Right. It's the next decade, guys, of year after year after year of old school technology would have been the new IPO coming out. The new IPO. Oh, here it is. Facebook IPO'd. Oh my God, you know. Gotta get the new IPO. Well, now it's going to be the next crypto, and the next crypto. And Joe Johnny Public will finally catch on to, oh, wow, did you hear what the next coin's coming up? Next coin is this one. And you and I are going to understand what pump and dump term means. Because you're going to have a little side cash. And you're going to say to yourself, okay, well, what happened when the ETF happened for Bitcoin? Oh, that's right. The pump and dump happened right before, and then it dumped right when it sold. Store that away in the old pea-sized brain somewhere, right? Then you trade that little baby, because everybody else is going to be flaming around the, you know, oh my God, it crashed when it went live. You know, it's not a pump and dump, but it is sell the news. So it happens. And you and I are going to be experienced investors by that. What you've gone through, this misery we'll call of the last 5 years of bull and bear markets, is a lifetime education that if you were taking notes and you weren't, like Simon likes to say, just waving your banner around of, oh, this the only coin I believe in, and you did your homework and you watched the way markets move, you're going to play this market the rest of your life. And people are going to look up to you because you're going to know more about crypto than anybody. And crypto is going to be in everybody's portfolio and everybody's wallet and everybody's knowledge. And you're going to be the guy that was the one that was there, and you understood it. You understood the fundamentals, and you get it. It's a lifetime opportunity that hasn't even really started yet.
That was the first seminar my dad and I went to about all this. That's exactly the message. You know, you're going to be Johnny on the spot, all of you. And we're going to be there as a community to support you and back you up. And you're going to give us the gold tokens, which I'm literally reading about right now in the chat, Dad. Just the bouncing around of ideas, you know, what,
so much fun.
How to look at stuff, what's working. OG brought up, you know, an interesting point. I'd like to ask you is just, we know the benefits of, you know, our keys, our crypto cold storage wallet, but the advantages, if any, that you see in being in an ETF, Dad. Like, let's say for us, for the crew, do you see any advantages? I know we have a lot of other opportunities that we had gold nuggets that we'd love to all share, but thinking cold storage versus ETF, you know,
yeah, there is, but again, this what clientele am I talking to? Am I talking to somebody with $5,000 in crypto, or am I talking to somebody with 500,000 in crypto? Because it's a completely different ball game. They're not even playing the same game. You know, one guy's playing cricket and the other guy's playing something else. You know, it's like it's not even the same score. So, having put that out there, there are so many products that are going to be coming to market that are only going to be given to people who don't have wallets. So, for instance, let's say you had $100,000 in something because we've just raced through a bull market. It might not be a bad idea to have 10 or 20% of your portfolio in an ETF, because this is just, I'm not saying you should. Number one, the security level of it. You're never going to lose that wallet, right? Oh, they're going to rug pull you. Again, I've went over that a million times. Fidelity is not going to ruin their $10 trillion business over, your 42 digibyte. Okay, I'm sorry, they're a financial institution that's been around 100 years, and they'd like to see the next 100, and they're going to. So they're going to start offering products outside of it. The other thing that you're going to get to is, I don't want to start this because it'll take me an hour to explain it to everybody. There's a thing called covered options, and it's essentially a license to steal money. And when you understand how options work, you can cover your options, and you can take your puts and your calls, and you can wrap them up, and you can essentially it depends on what the product is. But at this point in Bitcoin, I'm talking about probably you could cover it. You'd be essentially, it's an arbitrage trade that you're doing, that you're going to clear probably anywhere between 1.5% to 2% monthly without doing anything. Now there's some nominal fees and whatnot, but you're going to clear 20 grand a year, or sorry, 20% a year on a covered option. Well, that's not falling on deaf ears to everybody in Wall Street. Every one of them knows what a covered option is. They're going to be sitting there going, whoa, slow down. That's it? That's all I got to do to make 20%? Well, here, let me get grandma's pension into that. So that creates opportunity, which creates more opportunity, which creates what, Brent? What was the movie about?
Which one?
Your favorite financial movie?
My favorite financial movie is Inside Job. Are you talking about Big Short? Big Short?
Big Short, I thought was. There, it's in both of them. Then you slowly, after about a decade, start creating derivatives.
Yeah.
Which is essentially what you've created. We haven't even got there yet. And that's like guaranteed Wall Street money. That, like, this just a bingo game to these guys, and they're going to put you in it, but you could put yourself into it. Again, I don't want to talk about that because I'm confusing people, and I don't want to go down that road. But those secured products are really cool things to have. In particular, as you get older and you don't want to hang around a wallet, you don't want to lose your wallet, you don't want to have to worry about a seed phrase, you're going to put more and more percentage into it. Also, I have not given up on in time for one of these. Okay, after these ETFs have been around a while, I think some of them, in particular, I think people like Kathy. I think who's the other one with Bit? Oh shoot! Who's the third largest, and they're a crypto company with an ETF. Anyway, those guys are crypto houses. They're not, Wall Street people. They're crypto people, right? They're going to do an in-time ETF eventually. And I've explained what that is, but I'll go over it real quick. The difference is you can have 2 Bitcoin or you can have 1,000 XRP and you can hand them to them. And after it triples in price, you can get, instead of 3 times your money, you can get your coins back. Okay. Right now it's cash. It's cash, spot cash instead of spot in time. There's going to be brokerages, and particularly the ones that really appreciate or understand what coins and tokens are. They're going to believe more in the token than they are the cash, as most of us already do. We have that figured out, but only the crypto houses want to play that game. Just shot a video today explaining why that is. And the biggest reason is when they sell these coins, it creates what to you? It creates a tax, because you bought the coin, you sold the coin for cash, you cashed out. You have now what? Capital gains. You now have to pay them capital gains tax. That's why that whole thing went down the way it did. If you can go coin in, coin out, that's not a taxable event. Even if you put Bitcoin in and you pulled XRP out, that coin to coin is not a taxable event. So they're doing it to get you to take profit and leave your coins in the house. That was a long answer, but hopefully you got something out of it.
I did. No, thank you, Dad. I'm glad you've been talking about in time, because I want to understand it. And yeah, we're in the comments, Grayscale, yeah, Vanguard. Vanguard's the one that's not even, they're not even doing it, right?
No, not yet. They will.
Hey, Will saying, I noticed you guys poured cold water on Stronghold after a 30x run. Hasn't the bull just started? No upside there? I think differently. No, I think we agree with you, Will. It's just a little, as far as running out and buying it right this second, I think is could be a really great play. Also could correct. And so could you get it cheaper? But yeah, no, Stronghold's awesome project. We've talked about it on this show. Our friend Ghost Money just did an awesome video about it too. So please check that out.
Stronghold is a long-term hold. I think I mentioned in my last video, Simon and Melissa did a great presentation on Dip a Toe last week about there's no liquidity in that coin. None. Like, you're the big fish, which makes it real easy for the old rug pull. Not that I'm saying it's a rug pull. It's not at all. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the volatility of that can be very somebody pulls $10,000 out of that thing, it makes a difference in that coin. Huge. It's just not a massive pool. So therefore, it's not going to get massive money flow into it. It's going to get all of us retail. Okay. All of us retail is going to get into it. 500 here, 1,000 there, $5,000 here. That's not life-changing money. It's just not. It's a onesie twosie game for at least another bull market or two beyond this one. And I'm not trying to say that it couldn't go crazy numbers wise. Yeah, it can go up 1,000 times, but if you can't get your money out of the thing, where's the value in that? It's a long-term hold, is what I'm trying to say. What I thought was funny is I kept saying in the video that, hey, that Ripple is buying Stronghold, and everybody's correcting me, laughing, going, no, dude, you got it all wrong. It's XLM that's buying Stronghold. And then what just came out this week? That's why it blew up. Everybody's, oh my God. It was like we were reading that. Was that Simon or Sean? I think it was Sean's. Somebody sent me, no, it's neither one of them. I know who it was. I know who it was. This guy sent me a prospectus on a company. There's a S&P 500 company, and he said it says that they own crypto assets, and the assets, one of the assets is a company called Stronghold. Have you ever heard of it? I was like, oh yeah, I know that coin. That's when I started looking into it really heavily. I'd heard about it a couple of years ago, but hadn't really gotten into it. And then I did some homework on it, and I was like, wow, look who owns this. Yeah,
Hello.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
Sean,
it
great
happened to
point.
be
Yeah.
this, it was this tiny little company that maybe you guys have maybe never heard of, but they were applying for a IPO. And it, you know, may or may not sound like Ripple. That was the company that was applying for an IPO. And that's the paperwork that he was reading to me. That was 6 months ago. He was reading that to me. It was cool stuff.
Awesome,
And I'm glad
man.
people made money on it. I really am.
Yeah, that's
Because
huge.
I don't usually get it that good at info. You know what I mean?
So we're in the chat last night, right? And our buddy Will in there was like, "Hey, Brent, yeah, my dad is long gone from the chat. Hey, Brent, man, you went out and bought Stronghold after your pops did that video, didn't you?" I'm like,
Um,
I wasn't that bright, as a matter of fact. I well,
yeah,
and I got into this point, you know, um, when I first got into crypto and I first started investing in it, it was really one of the first things that I invested in. I'd been in 401ks and I'd done other little stuff here and there, but I'd never had any interest in stocks. So I'm related to my old man, so I knew what the bonds market was doing, that kind of stuff. And so when I first got in, it was kind of kind of home run ball. I'm like, dude, I really like Digibyte uh and the fundamentals over Bitcoin. So I was like, man, I'm going with that. I can buy in there. I want to see it do well. I've done Digibyte video on this channel. Um, but then in your V chains and your all these awesome projects that we talked about in the chat already today, and your strongholds that have bright future, good price point, home run ball. And then I've started to graduate until it's like, wow, man, if you're not looking into your XRPs of the world, you're not you're not doing it right. And so I got caught, I think, in that middle ground of,
yeah,
at the time I was trying to study and my head was focused in on, trying to wrap my head around, Ripple Labs and, all these other really big companies, I was really into Cardano, because I went to school and learned the ins and outs of Ethereum and then saw, what has happened to Ethereum. And it's like, wow, okay, Cardano, and so sometimes as an investor and a buyer in crypto, you're in a certain frame of mind. And
yeah,
and Stronghold, yeah, ended up being a really great buy. That's cool you did that video when you did it, Dad. It was Providence, man.
yeah. It was a
Providence.
blind squirrel. But there's so many great projects. The thing of it is which one is going to be the media darling? Which one's going to be, who's going to pick it up on the social media network and run with it and have the right connections to put it in front of the right people and get it, in different areas. And honestly, one of my favorite projects is still Divi, and it's just Divi's never paid a dime to be in anybody's advertisement. if you see an advertisement about or somebody talking positively about Divvy, it's like because they like the coin. It's because not because they're getting paid. And back in the day, 5, 6 years ago, coins were paying people to talk about it. And they would blow up and they would get places because social media was a little less broad than it is today, you know? And it's harder to move market today than it's ever been before. So, but fundamentals are getting important again. And I really like that. What have you done? Who do you know? Who's using your technology? How's your, we all get hung up in this one too. Like, how fast is your technology? It's just like, it's not a sports car race, man. It's just not. And
No, how many
yeah,
layer ones are there right now that are this is the fastest one.
right. Yeah.
We've got the fastest
Yeah.
blockchain
Right. Yeah.
transaction rate. You know, they
Yeah.
call us Ferrari.
And it's
Yeah, you're like, dude, you're one of 30. Like it's
right. Yeah.
yeah.
You're not
Um,
even in the top. You're not even in the lead lap. Yeah.
that's why I love where your head's at with all this, Dad. And you get all our heads into it. It's like, man, what is that company doing? How
Yeah.
much? What's their market cap at? That was such a great point to make about Stronghold.
Yeah.
All these different things. What has their blockchain look against? What's their trilemma looking like? Is their future bright?
Yeah.
These are. It's just
If you
I look
don't,
into all those things, and I have it in the past, but now I do. Um,
yeah.
before you get into a coin,
Yeah.
because someday you might have to feel like you need to trade it away at a loss, because it's just
Yeah.
it was one of 14,000 other you know cryptos out there that is not a darling.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, yes,
No, it's
Elizabeth,
not.
there's been a Bruno sighting. Pinocchio is live and well. I heard him howling about 2 minutes ago. But
Yeah. We miss our other son.
they're all
Yeah.
outside. They're all outside playing.
Yeah.
Um,
Nice.
I got a
Yeah.
good 30, 40 ball throws in today.
Good deal.
Yeah.
I I I think when you start getting into the crowd that plays those long shots, you can make a lot of money. You can buy a lot of dogs, but you can make a lot of money. It's not my game. It's just, if that's what you're looking for, it's a different show. I don't I look at being an investor. I'm looking, 2 to 5 years out. And that's huge. And when you own something like XRP, I don't care how long it takes, they're coming to you. They're coming to you. And it's not maybe, it's just a huge, huge thing to know that when nobody else around you knows that. It's big, guys. This never happens in people's lifetimes, ever. That's not how the world works.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's only these big venture capital groups that hear about these great ideas and projects, and then they're all in and they've bought it all up before you even get your hands on it. So it's a different world you're investing in. And now, more than when I first started crypto, it's a guaranteed, can't say guarantee, but it's more of a sure thing than it's ever been before. The more adoption and the longer it goes without crashing to zero, the more stability it has. And the longer it makes sense and the more employees that become under Ripple or, the network. People especially people in the Army, they really underestimate the size of the Bitcoin network. The damn thing is massive, massive, guys. And it's growing by, just the other day, I heard 300 million a day. $300 million invested daily.
Wow.
Like that's that's stupid. Like it's just it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
There, it's
You bring this up a lot, Dad, and and I just brought it up earlier. We're all in hodl mode.
yeah,
We're not going down to the grocery store or buying a cup of coffee with this stuff yet.
yeah,
Um, this is that point in time where we're accruing, we're accruing, we're accruing. Now the banks are accruing, accruing, accruing.
right,
This thing's finite. This is
yeah,
There's just going to be less and less and less coins and tokens floating around, and the exchanges want to have them, and it's just going to be there's going to be more and more and more. Like my dad was just saying, 300 million a day, more and
yeah,
more, more and more people grabbing at it.
yeah. That's $1 billion every 3 days. I mean, like I remember estimates before the ETF came out, right? And they said, oh, somewhere around 15 to 25 billion would be a big guess, right? For how many Bitcoin will be bought by the end of the year, its first year.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to blow right through 50. It's going to be double that. And half the people that want to buy it can't even buy it still yet. And just think about that with XRP and Cardano. Half the people that want to buy Cardano and XRP, big money, can't even buy them yet. They don't even know they're supposed to buy them yet, guys. And they're going up. Like, you're going to look back at these days and you're going to say, wow. Remember that? You remember that time, Brent? It was a couple of years ago. I found an old piece of paper in the back of my truck because I keep a meticulous farm truck,
Yeah.
so loose 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 papers never fall into the sea or anything like that. But I pulled it out of the notebook actually. I pulled this thing out and I was looking at the prices that I had paid for the top 50 coins I'd bought. You remember those numbers, Brent? I was buying we were buying Cardano at like 2 cents and
Mm-hmm.
like stuff like that. That you just look at it. We were getting, I can't even remember what it was, like $2.50 I was paying for Litecoin. Yeah. Uh and it was just
Yeah.
like, you're gonna look at today like that. Yeah, it's crazy.
It is the time in my life when I've had the most money. I I had my hand, over the mouse to buy Chainlink. And had I
Oh,
bought Chainlink when I did, I I would be well on my way to being a millionaire today. And I am far from that, people. I am far from a millionaire, let me tell you. I,
yeah, you're a ways from that.
if I had a DeLorean, and I could go back in time, I'd just accost myself from behind, and smash the finger down. Uh,
Brent, you're only about 1 million away from being a millionaire, Brent. You're
I
not that
know,
far.
right? I'm right
Come on,
there, man. I am
sell
right
yourself short.
there. Yeah. No, Judge, you're an incredible slouch.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
we got a good one from Sean. This is my heart, Sean. Sean and I we text or talk once a week now. I love you. I love you, bro. You're wild and crazy, and I'm all about it. Sean's comment: front running Wall Street is a beautiful thing. Glad to be a part of it with you all. Yeah, us too, brother. We are so glad you all are here with us to go on this journey. And something my folks have been getting into, and I've been getting into, and we're trying to start studying and getting into other things to where we're not this one dimensional crypto pumping, when price go up
Yeah.
thing. This is the most important part of the crew and starting this channel. And I was talking about it in the chat last night, is the community. And it's I made contacts in that chat last night, and you know you meet people and you come across people who not only become your friends, but they also are into something that you're not into. And all of a sudden they share it with you, and you're like, whoa, what is
Yeah.
this? This
Yeah.
is, I kind of feel like I knew about this, but
Different angle.
this is my next big play, or like,
Right. Yeah.
um, and we're getting, we're building steam on it. And things like the crypto bot, that Simon has shared with all of us graciously, um, is one of those things. It's one of those, like, once you start looking at this bot and you start using it, and you go into this meeting and you hear how these people made it and why they're sharing it and how to get it to run well and work for you. It builds interest.
Yeah.
And the the big thing, this guy, Greg, I don't know if Greg's in here in the chat today, but the big thing he shared is, and I've seen it in the chat also, um, in these bear markets, in these downtimes, keep chugging it away, and keep hodling. And then on top of that, be adding something else. Be adding another skill to your repertoire.
Learning.
Be learning, be seeking a better job, or the book that's going to help me invest the way that I want to invest. And I'm
Yeah.
so excited. I'm so lucky that I've gotten to have my dad, who's helped me expand all of that, from being, your typical American, high school educated person who, you know, wouldn't know his ass from a hole in the ground, to somebody who gets to come on here with all of you and talk about, investing in so many different ways. And, being a part of growing something like the crypto community, which we all know, we like, I wrote this down for my friend Melissa. I tried to explain literally the entire thing on one piece of paper, 1 20-minute. I'm going to try to teach you everything that it took me 30 hours to learn right here.
300
And
hours.
and
Yeah.
that, and then on here there's philosophy, there's pitfalls, there's the blockchain 5, which I've talked about ad nauseum. The distribution, encryption, immutability, tokenization, and decentralization. You get into any one of those things, and you start looking at how money has been treated, and the idea of money, and then that's been crafted into currency, and how we've all used it, but also how it's used us. And this is that time, and this is certainly that place with all of you, where we get to take ownership of what we're doing in ourselves and how we invest, and what we invest in, which is a big part of why we're not, you know, telling you all to go run off and buy something. We're not allowed to
Yeah.
do that uh, on this channel, but it's also out of honesty, and it's also about creating trust within all of you to us. When we
Yeah.
get into these other projects like these bots, we didn't mention it on here until we tested it ourselves. And I was like, okay, this is running, this works. It hasn't, the bottom hasn't fallen out. Like, okay,
Yeah.
you know let's do it. And I always look forward to your ideas in your next video, Dad, too, because Simon said it in the chat yesterday. He's doing the dip a toe with Melissa, and you get to see the two different people that they are. And Simon's that guy like you, where he's a dot to dot connector,
Yeah.
and a really good storyteller to boot. And
Yeah.
so when you can run and connect all these different things and introduce really big ideas to people, I think we have a responsibility to do that. And I'm
Agreed.
thankful. I'm thankful that we've done it here, and I'm thankful for this community that supported us. Like,
Oh, yeah.
thank you all. Thank you.
Thanks. Really well said, Brent. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
it's so refreshing to not just, okay, we could be a darts club or something, you know what I mean, or whatever. It could be in anything, but we're actually financially changing people's perspective on life and what's coming and how it's all going to prosper. The little guy is just to be a part of that in its genesis is just like, wow, what an opportunity of a lifetime, And
Mhm.
we say this all the time, Brent, but you know, it bears repeat. You guys should start a YouTube channel. I mean, it's hard work in the beginning, but once you get moving, and if you have something to share with people, you learn so much by teaching. And I learned so much just from you guys' comments, and I love the comments. I read every single comment. I may not comment on every one of them, but I do read them all, and it's amazing to me how sharp everybody is in crypto. It's not like the old days. The old days, people didn't even know how to spell them, and now it's just like, wow, people know the ins and outs and the legality and what's happening and who's moving and what Congress said and all the rest of it. We're pretty brushed up, in particular the Army. The Army is a pretty sharp bunch of investors. You're
Yeah.
not you're not because of what you know about XRP at this point. You're no longer speculators. You're pre-IPO people, essentially, is what you are. You're on the inside info of what's about to be for man. And that's a position to be in. Like, I mean, you don't get those I'm no spring chicken. You don't get those opportunities very often in your lifetime, and you're sitting on one right now. So when somebody says, "Hey, if you had $1,000, what would you put it in?" The first thing is you got to have some XRP. Period. And it still blows me away that there's people out there that hate on XRP. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. I was watching Crypto Crow the other day, and I used to watch his show years and years ago. But I'll if he has a catchy title, sometimes I'll watch him. He's really well spoken. He's Mr. Cardano, basically. And I'll watch his show every now and then because sharp man. And he said, "Yeah, I sold all my XRP today." And I went, "Oh my, you what? Like all of them?" And it was like, "Yeah, well, they wouldn't let me sell the last 20 cents because, it was dust. And I'm just like, click. I can't even watch the rest of this video. I've tried to listen to some justification for it, and then I was like, yeah, that's it. Like, you just decided that it's not moving, so you're going to get into something that's moving. Okay, way to do your homework there, pal. It's not
Yeah.
moving, so I'm getting out of it. There's an investment strategy right there. No, no, don't use that one. What a boob. I was just like, I can't believe he just did that.
I feel like the crew is the opposite of that, Dad. Like, we're all like an oak. We're all like an oak that's been there for lots of years now. We're up
Yeah,
on this hill and we've got deep roots in this thing, man. and that is just getting blown around in the wind like Piglet,
Yeah.
trying to take shelter in Al's house, man. That's the dude.
But what is he gonna? Okay, if
Well,
his
yeah, that's it. What
strategy,
are you gonna
if
do,
his
man?
strategy
Push
would
your
have been,
money.
okay, I have this cool opportunity to buy the SHX or something. I don't know. Okay. And I'm going to sell all my XRP right now because it's not moving. And I'm going to put it in this mover over here that I know has this news announcement coming out in 30 days. And I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to double my money. And then I'm going to go back to XRP. If that was his strategy, I would have went, oh, okay, maybe. I mean, I still wouldn't have done that, but maybe with a percentage of it, but he sold all of it. His strategy was, this coin isn't moving. It's never going to move. It's just sitting there. It won the lawsuit and it's still not moving. So nobody believes in it. And it's not going to do anything other than what it's already done. That was his point. And I was like, okay. I mean, like, I know you have to follow a lot of coins because this show is very diverse. But dude, you need to do a little bit of homework in the banking world of what XRP is going to mean to the future of liquidity on the face of this planet with virtually all transactions. And if you don't understand that, you are making a grave mistake. You haven't done your homework. Okay. And this isn't just banner waving. I've just read too damn many documents that have said exactly the opposite of what he thinks is going to happen to that coin. And I even heard, oh, there he is. There's my son.
Uh-huh.
There's both my sons. There they are, both of them.
This is young Brutus right here. He's a
Yeah,
pure Tennessean black mouth
Bruno
cur.
man,
He's a fine animal right
Bruno.
here. He's a
You
rascal
guys
too.
don't understand. Elizabeth and I haven't seen Bruno since Thursday morning, so it's been a long time.
Yeah, I got a few comments in the chat about it, Dad. I was like, okay, I better present this animal. Make sure Mom knows he's still alive.
He is the show mascot, if you will.
Oh yeah.
The video when he was howling for Goldie.
So good.
Made him celebrity. Yeah,
it did.
From that day on.
The comments were so good.
Oh, yeah. And I can't remember my closing remarks, but it was pretty funny too. Yeah. Something about we've all been there. I can't remember.
Will said, word on the street is Uphold will add Stronghold in the coming weeks. Thanks for the update, Will.
Yep, that's what I heard too. I also heard there's a show announcement, and I wanted to say maybe I should wait for the show. Let's just say that
what is it?
Yeah, let's just say there's going to be
a little taste.
There's going to be an announcement at the show. I'll leave it at that. No, I wasn't sworn to secrecy, so I can say whatever I want to say. But anyway, I'm not going to say it.
Say it.
Stronghold's going to also have a big news at the show. There, I said it. Big news. Bigger than Uphold.
Bongo, baby.
Yeah. And it may or may not have something to do with a company that we all know, that you can switch your 401ks to a crypto. So you guys kind of can put that together. Those two guys are getting together, from what I understand.
Whoa. All righty then.
I don't know that for sure. I heard that from somebody who's fairly reputable. He had a sign around his neck that said, "I'm a Christian. Can you, feed me?" So he told me. So what else do you need to know, right? And it was a really nice street corner. It wasn't like, bad part of town. So he told me. Anyway, I get a lot of my advice from those guys, by the way.
Both. Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
where is this show headed?
Where
Uh,
we dropped a Bruno on it.
yeah, we did.
Where
Love
is
my
this show
Bruno.
headed, everybody? How y'all doing?
Yeah, what did we got? Any questions down there, Brent?
We want to hear from you. There's definitely been questions. I've tried to kind of steer us into those topics, Dad. Let's see. Yeah, good question from Gino. This one's for Big Al. What would you do if you had $25 of silver and $2,000 of XRP? Would you sell your silver for more XRP? What would you do?
$25 of silver?
2,500 versus $2,000 currently.
And how much XRP does he have?
2,500 silver, $2,000 worth of XRP.
Yeah, I can't.
What would you do, Gino? What will you do?
I don't think you're sitting bad right there. What's the matter with that spot?
That's a good spot.
I like that spot. You know, I mean, I depends on how long. You know, both those are kind of what I'm going to call could wait a while. I mean, unless we break that 70 cents, and then the XRP could really take off, guys. I'm telling you, institutional money has got its eye on it. But nobody's come out yet. Here's what we're looking for in XRP. Okay. We're looking for somebody the likes of B of A or Chase Manhattan or whatever bank to come out and say, yeah, well, all of our cross-border payments now are going to run on XRP. So it'll be a US dollar, and then it'll be XRP, and then it's going to be a British pound at the other end. And we're running that system now, and it's in beta, and we're going to test it for a while, and then we're going to see how it all goes. But once that comes out, which we know they're already doing all of that now, we know all that. Once they come out public and say it on Bloomberg, you know, and that means they're almost done. That means they're ready to go. Or they'll do it. It'll be running on it for 2 to 3, 4 months. And then they'll say on Bloomberg, hey, by the way, you know, we're one of 4 of the leading national banks, and we're all using XRP when we transfer money from point A to point B. And then that day is the day you are officially in the game. You're just not in the game right now, guys. It's all retail purchase right now, other than what was bought a long time ago and side backdoor deals. And backdoor deals don't care that it goes up. You and I care whether or not the price goes up. They don't need the price to go up. They're not investing $1 million or $500 million in the XRP because they want to see it go to $2. That's not why they're doing it. They're using it for function. They don't need number go up yet.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, but that's how it is. And there's so much money. One of the most incredible, the thing I didn't tell you was, for the very first time in the history of Bitcoin, is institutional money doubled the amount of retail money selling. So retail is happy selling their Bitcoins at $52,000. Now, a lot of these are just small-time traders, and it's their day trader account. No, they happen to sell, but all those sell walls get soaked up. So retail, when it sells its crypto, or in particular Bitcoin at this point, because the big boys are buying all the Bitcoin up, it gets vacuumed out of the system. And it's insane. You got to remember, they're only making 900 coins and they're buying somewhere around 1,200 coins, or sorry, 12,000 coins. Yes, it's over 10 times the amount of coins that are created every day are being purchased. That's math. That math is
bullish.
Yeah, very bullish.
Yeah.
Is it going to stop tomorrow and nobody buys anymore? No. Why would that happen? They want to own more and more and more and more. So, but here's the thing: retail. Oh my God! I bought it 15,000. I'm selling it 50. I'm buying a brand new patio. The wife wants a swimming pool, and the kids are whatever going to college. I made a bunch of money on it. I'm selling it. But institutions are for the first time buying, and massively, like nothing we've ever seen before in the history of Wall Street. So whatever that means to you guys, and that, remember guys, that's going to happen to all the other coins. They're going to get their day in the sun. Currently, it's Bitcoin's time to shine, and it will be for a year and a half at least. I think I was telling you guys, I read that report. It's going to take 2 years just for BlackRock to get to 1% allocation. 2 years at current purchasing rate. This purchasing isn't going to slow down, guys. They have no reason to slow down. If you notice the dips anymore, it goes down 1,000 or 2, but it goes real slow. There's no volume in it. Like nobody's selling. And then it shoots back up 2 or 3, 4 grand. Is it going to do that forever? No, of course not. But right now, that's what it's doing, because April's coming, and then it's not going to be 900 coins. It's going to be 450. And that's, math again, right in your face, like a frying pan. So, but I'm a Bitcoin shill. Haven't you read the comments? I'm like, no, dude, I'm not a shill. I can just do math.
Yeah.
it's called, I'm no college graduate and I could do that math.
Yeah, we're no maxis. We're no maxis. We're really
no. Not for any coin.
No.
I just told you in the beginning of the show why I wouldn't own just one coin. What if their tech crashed? Well, I really enjoyed crypto. It was really good, but I had all my coins in blah, blah, blah coin and they crashed. It's no longer relevant. Like the wallets leak like a sieve or what? I don't know, whatever. I'm just saying, like, oh, well, you got to bet on more than one code, I would think, wouldn't you? I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely, Dad.
Yeah.
Hey, Martin, welcome. Alan only owns Bitcoin. Sheesh.
Perfect comment.
Yeah. Exactly, I was Northern. Yeah, of course. That's how we do it around here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Our girls got our back, Dad, and so does the crew. Yeah, none of this is financial advice, folks. None of it.
Right.
Don't go out and buy anything just because the Stapletons told you to, okay?
Actually, everything I've said tonight, I actually read in a Chinese fortune cookie. So take that for what it's worth.
Our knuckles are barely off the ground. I mean, we are like 8 hairs shy of being baboons, for God's sakes. So,
Yeah.
Please. Hey, Albert, good to see you.
What else do we got in there?
Buttcoin sucks.
Nice. Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Alchemist had a good one. They're selling gold ETFs to buy Bitcoin ETFs.
We mentioned that last show. You go look at that chart.
Dude.
Gold is like, and Bitcoin ETFs are climbing. But
Stronghold is on BitTrue. I know a few people have asked about that.
yeah, bit true. It's a little tricky to buy, but
Will asked, is that Stronghold announcement? Did you mean Vegas, Dad? Which show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a company called I Trust Capital, and they have been working directly with a bunch of people. Let's just put it that way. And there are certain coins you can buy with your 401k through I Trust Capital. By the way, you can buy silver, you can buy crypto, you can buy all kinds of stuff with them. I'm not sponsored by them. I there's another company that I prefer, but anyway, I Trust Capital is very reputable, kick and tail, doing really well for everybody in crypto. And somebody I know knows one of the founders really well, and he told me that's oh hey, that coin, that's the coin that may or may not be having big news at the show. I don't, yeah, who knows?
Nice. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, there's going to be a lot going on at that show, by the way, guys. A lot. I just heard, was it Zach? No, I think it was Brad. Brad was saying the other day that David Schwartz has a big announcement. He wants to share at the show, whatever that means. I don't know. And I know that there's going to be people doing a large documentary there. I don't know if you guys have heard that. And then there's going to be people that I know really well who are going to be doing a very small documentary.
Mm-hmm.
And the small documentary is going to be the good one. They're both going to be good. Don't get me wrong. The other one's going to be good too.
Yes,
but,
it is.
Yeah. But the little one is going to be about people. The people in the army.
You.
Yeah. The soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
You will. Yeah. In the trenches. That's us. That's who's going to be in that documentary. It's going to be fun, guys.
You better
what
get
else
your
you
mug
got?
in that movie. Yeah, let's get our mug in both of them, Dad.
Sure, why not?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard anything from the other one, but
yeah, Ron says ours will be the best.
Oh,
yeah,
of course.
We agree, bro.
Because ours is going to be about people, and it's going to be about anyway. What we'll do is have our people film their people. That'll be entertaining. No, it's going to be great. I can't wait. I'm blown away at how many people are actually going to be at the show that are in our channel. So it's going to be crazy. Good fun.
Yeah.
I met 100 people at the show last year. Physically met them. 100 people.
Like, Dad, people that you knew from our channel? Like 100?
Yeah. Well, I mean, people that knew me. I have no way to meet. I don't know them. But yeah, people that were like, "Oh man, I watch your show every week." Those people. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now
cool.
I know
Yeah,
them.
We saw some people at the Silver Symposium, which is cool. I mean, there's to put it in, perspective. Like, there's 107 of us total in the chat right now, and my dad's videos usually pull off like 4,500. So it's there's a lot of other crew out there, man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's a few people last night, Dad, that said hi, to me, and wanted to send you some love and respect, and just that they'd been following for years. And sometimes he's like, sometimes I write "great job," in the comments, or something small, like Appreciate that, bro. That means
Oh, great job. Yeah, I remember him.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
like,
remember that
dude,
guy.
we know you.
No, see, this is fun, guys, because it's really weird when you do a YouTube channel. You don't get to meet anybody. You guys all know me, but I don't know you.
Mhm.
So when I go to the show, I get to meet you. Like,
Yeah.
and that show last night, I got to see what people's faces look like. I got to see their name and their face, and it was like 20 of you up there. It was so cool. I got to finally, I feel like I know you better. But all the people I met, the 100 people I met last year, I'm going to meet again this year, however many of them show up. But like, I'll know them because I remember meeting them from last year. And then there's going to be even more people, and it's just going to grow every year. It's just fun, you know. If you haven't figured it out, my son and I are people, and I just like people, and I could sit down and talk with anybody for days about whatever you want to know or talk about, or I like
Yeah.
to find out about what other people are doing as much as anything else.
I got a big hug for you too, bro. Big hug. Um, yeah, Sean, because you can't read the chat, Dad. Sean said, Alan tried to pick me up and take me home last year in Vegas at the bar.
Yeah,
Friends
yeah.
ever since.
He was
It's a good
he was
story.
sitting by himself at the end of the bar with a mullet, and I was like, yeah, that's it right there. I've got to take him upstairs to the room because I just got to have. Yeah, that was it. That was at first sight, as they say. No, man,
Yep.
I saw him walk by and I was like, dude, I'm meeting that guy for sure. He must be an XRP Army member. Gotta be.
Oh yeah.
So I think I
At
introduced
least
myself
at
to
least
him.
an interesting human being.
Oh yeah, I think I introduced myself to him. Now that I think
Yeah.
about it, yeah, and it was fun, man. We had a great time. And Sean's really sharp, guys. Here's what and
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the rest of you aren't sharp. I don't mean it like that, but like so many people that comment are really great comments we get, and like just a few that like Alchemist. He's always got great comments, always.
Always.
And then
He got the
Crypto
spicy in there
Professor,
too. Spicy.
yeah, and Crypto Professor drops a bunch of great ones. Cody, like everybody does. It's
Everybody.
fun, man. It's really fun stuff.
Yep.
And I think this bull market's just going to slowly trickle its way till right about showtime, May. And then it's going to start locomotive downhill, I think. I think.
Crew mentioned seeing the happening at 66 days, 2 hours, Dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
April, May.
And these shows in like 75 days, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Something
May
like
30th.
that. Yeah.
Ooh, perfect timing.
Yeah. But the happening's sort of that day is never really all that big a deal. It's
No.
from that day, yeah, going forward, usually.
Yeah.
But only us maxis would know that.
Right. You butt coin worshippers.
Yes. What
Mhm.
coiner? It's good.
Man, I wish you were coming, Becky. I'm just
Yeah.
here to sponge. That is a great way to be. Um, I I am certainly that way around my dad. When it's just my dad and I hanging out, um, he'll usually goat me into it, but I'll start goating him back, and we just try to get as deep down the rabbit hole as possible on whatever it is that we're talking about, um, which
Yeah.
is the coolest part about doing a live. Um, there, there's nothing that we don't want to discuss with you. I mean, nothing.
Yeah.
Any questions? We're almost a couple hours in. If anybody
I
has
kind of wish I
anything
hadn't.
that they want to talk about or hear us
Yeah,
talk about, let's go.
I kind of wish I hadn't shared my love life with Sean upstairs. But other than that, it's been a good show.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So it was really funny because last year Elizabeth was with me the whole show. Well, she was playing poker most of the time, but the last night, the Saturday night's really the night where everybody kind of cuts loose and relaxes and takes their tie off. And not that many people wore ties. I didn't mean it like that, but so I got to introduce Elizabeth to a lot of the people that I'd met throughout the few days, and she got to meet Molly and Zach and Zach's wife and Sean, and she met just a bunch of people. But I'm trying to remember, was it Clark? Jack? She sat down. Oh, that's terrible. I can't remember. And Crypto Professor, I almost said his real name. Crypto Professor hit me up with, he knows a guy and his brother that sat with Elizabeth and I last year. And we must have sat and talked to him for an hour and a half. It was just, we were having such a great conversation. And talk about a guy that really knows it. Frank, I think his name is Frank. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent, but it was a really cool conversation about a bunch of stuff. And I know he's going to be here at the next show. And he's one of the people that I wish everybody in this space right here to meet. He's one of those people that has lived one of those lives that you're like, oh my God, no way. You used to be that 3-letter agency and that this, and you were that, and you were part of that. And it's like, he's the only other person I know that kind of knows who those agencies are to a level better than I do. And it's like, wow, this guy's a wealth of information. So you all sit around, you're having a couple of beers. You're not talking about XRP. You're talking about all of it. I mean, all of it, guys. It's so much fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just learn who everybody is and where they came from and what their dreams and hopes are for crypto and for their life and their families. And it's just a blast. It really is. It's why we're so social creatures, We get to spend time together. And one day, Becky, maybe next year, you'll be in a position where you can come, and that'd be great. I'd love to meet Becky.
Yeah.
Oh, we could swing up to Montana. That's not unlikely either.
That we've discussed that, Dad.
We have.
That's on the
Yeah.
list.
Yeah. And what we could do is maybe find out where everybody lives between Montana and here, and maybe hit a little diner here or there, and kind of do a little meetup and little place here, a little over there. So yeah, all that's on the plan for the future of my life, for sure.
Yeah,
Too much fun not to.
yeah, I become friends with Simon and Sean for sure, and there's gonna get out to see those guys like that. They're on the list.
Yeah.
Very short list. Let's see what we got in here, Dad. Oh, I know. This is a cool conversation. This is something I read about and thought about a lot, man. Go from Ghost, our boy Ghost Money. Hey, go check out his channel, folks. If you're joining the live, we are big fans. He has been a very loving, very cool person to have in our chat, and he's got an awesome channel. So check him out. His question is prediction for crypto in 2030. Absolutely no price prediction coming from there you go, upward, nowhere to go but up. I think I said that to everybody in yesterday's video when they started asking me questions. Nowhere to go but up, or correct and then go back up. But how about this? How about Internet of Things? How about artificial intelligence? How about advanced blockchain? You know, how about um, us all becoming so savvy in other types of investments together to where, yeah, we've done well and we're holding our coins and we're able to hopefully trade them at that point and
Mhm.
start really pushing a
Yeah.
true adoption with us.
Yeah.
But
Like,
also, as the technology evolves with the adoption, um, the two just begin to snowball into a whole
yeah.
different phase of something that we haven't even discussed yet. None of us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That, like, in 6 years, I honestly could see that because of how we're all talking about the next 2 years
Yeah.
just price-wise going, and then the adoption that's gonna come from that, is gonna fuel a whole new
Whole new.
group of people who are coders and who are, you know, um, investors and doers and people who are sick and tired of the system and
Yeah.
watching it into an inflationary hell. Um, that's where I think
Yeah.
it's going. What do you think,
I
Dad?
got, I got a few thoughts. First of all, let me splinter off this. Code will begin to write code as it is already. Code will trade code. Okay. And your micro nodes will trade micro DEX to generate income second to second to second, moving liquidity around to where it's needed and optimizing your potential returns moment to moment to moment, not unlike a sensor in your car that's constantly checking your air pressure every 10 seconds. Your distribution of your coins is going to be fractions of seconds. It's going to go light speed. And when that starts to occur, and with the advent of bots and AI becoming more and more prevalent by then, you're going to have less need for labor force. And you're going to find other ways to generate income, like you were just talking about, Brent. And I really believe micro trading and nodes are going to solidify networks, and it's going to help solidify all the AI and all these bots and all this tech. Let's remember, there's not near enough silicon chips made today for all this tech. So tech is going to have to be smarter with the chips that it has, and it's going to need all these micronodes and all these tiny networks that are going to be built on blockchain that are going to be necessary for all the data that we're going to need, and all the virtual reality and all that stuff is going to consume so much of your chips, so much of your electricity, that you're going to need both of those in double what we have now. So any companies that you can find along those lines beyond NVIDIA, what I'm talking about is people learning how to be more efficient with those going forward, are the kind of brains that are in tech or in crypto now, are the smart young people figuring all that out, because we know how to move digits from point A to point B insanely fast and cheap. And the old dinosaurs are getting left behind in that area. Where I really want to go with this in the end of this is what that means to you and I's personal lives, is that you're going to be able to submit bots, not unlike Simon's bot, but in many different ways, that are going to simply seek out your personal security online. In other words, it's going to attack anything that wants to come near what your personal wallet or your life is. It's going to tell you, hey, there's somebody over here that's trying to get in, that's trying to mess with you. but it's going to work for you technically. And it's going to generate income for you because we're all going to survive off of that network. That is where we're headed because labor is becoming less and less refined, and skilled labor is going to become more and more valuable. Obviously, if you have a trade or any of those things, you're still going to be necessary to teach these bots that incredible skill in what you have. But your, like we talk about this all the time, your attention span is the value of the future of mankind, because bots don't buy things, you do. You create commerce, you consume, you want new things, you create things that you buy things that are created by bots, okay, or AI or new technology. So you're the demander. We the people are the ones that are the bottom line product. One last thing. 90% of all the crypto that currently exists will not exist in 6 years. Mic drop. That's my 2 cents. It's not going to be the world, and I don't know whether that's 2030, but soon. A lot of that is happening.
I love it.
And it's a bright future, guys. It's not a scary future at all. It's just not. I wouldn't advise putting chips in your head. I mean, unless it's really something you're into.
Yeah. If it fixes
I'm not
your
going
vision, something radical. If it fixes vision, hearing.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Some interesting ideas in here, Dad. Yeah, the future of 3D printing. I think Becky said that. I was just reading about, the whole plan for, when people get to Mars and back to the moon is to send machines up to 3D print the bases, which I thought was very interesting. And again, kind of taking away from that skilled labor and going more towards a, okay, we can do this and it's efficient and we don't have to do it. Boom. Another cool one, Dad, was
that's provided you believe there aren't bases already on the moon.
Yeah.
But on the dark side.
You got a little woo man on there? You got a little woo man for us? I like that.
I'm just saying. Why doesn't the damn thing, ever spin? Why is it, what's on the other side? You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah. How come people with night goggles see stuff flying around or up there all the day? I know, inquiring minds, as they used to say.
The other one, Dad, human-made art. The increase of value of that once, AI is able to make videos of all of us now. I mean, that's happening. That's we've caught advertisements on our channel here doing that. So
right.
Just the increase of the desire to have the old, but then also the handmade. There's something special about that still. Going into a log cabin versus a modular home, I don't think that will ever be lost on people.
No, 3D printing of the future of living cubicles is huge, because a lot of people realize that I just don't need this big old house. I'd rather be really comfortable in something half the size. So,
Yeah.
and for half the price. But yeah. Yeah, that's good fun. That's a great question. I could do 3 shows on that.
Uh,
I'm really excited about 2030. I mean, most people my age really wouldn't be that concerned about it, but I'm really into it. I think we're going in good places. I really do. I here's here's one of the things that I want to say about AI that a lot of people give me a hard time, and I like, well, you don't understand, AI is evil. Okay, but like, let's remember this: AI mimics man, right? It will learn. Many of them are set out to learn from us. So let me just plant this seed for you. The better human being that you and I can be, the better example that you will and I will be for a bot that's learning from humanity. And that's important, okay? Because if the bots are running around learning from humanity and everybody in humanity is running around in fear, then the bots are going to learn fear. And they're not going to learn the great creativity and the positive human being that we all are. So the better that we can create a society to be happy just with what you have without needing more or fearing the system or the government or the banking or the dollars or any of those things. And the more that you can see that how great our planet is, we can share that greatness with the future of AI. And it's up to people like the people in this group to make a difference, because sitting around talking on the internet on a social level is what it's reading, reacting, and learning from. But when you're talking trash and garbage all day, it's absorbing it all. And it's deciding that, oh, wow, everybody needs to be defensive. I need to be defensive. I need to be scared. I need to be threatening. I need to search out something I don't like and attack it. Well, that's what you're teaching it. That's the side that fears me, is that when mankind becomes more fearful than it is optimistic, then you're not living in a really good world going forward. And it's up to us to understand that and realize what we're obtaining and what you're soaking in and what you're regurgitating in your life, because that's all you're doing is you're creating the life that you read, hear, and listen and talk to. So
Cody had a comment, Dad. It's mankind says AI is evil. AI says, I am what you made me.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
And the conversation that we've just had about it, and what you're saying, Dad, that's it. Like we're seeing it being used for people. And so
Yeah.
how are you going to use it? How's the crew going to use it? Are we going to adopt it for something, for whatever purpose we choose to adopt it for?
You and I personally? Oh
And
yeah.
we will, and in that way, just saying rhetorically, like in that way,
Yeah.
we'll be able to shape it. And
That's
I'm
right.
I'm not gonna shape it for evil. That's for sure. I'd rather not use it. But I do see really huge positives, like my dad does.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you speak positively about it, Dad, because that's the future that I want for it. It's out of the bag, just like blockchain. People know how to make blockchains now. We're not going to stop making blockchains
No.
till something really crazy comes along.
Yeah.
I want to see a positive future for it.
Yeah.
So that's what we'll be discussing.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
And support the people that are creating the good ones, because
Right.
I talk about this a lot. The well-being of mankind is the dominant theory of man. We all want better for ourselves. And that's our principle. That's the optimism that almost every, like no other animal on the planet has that we have. That optimistic love for our family and our wanting better for them, not just to be happy and okay. We want better for people. And like most
Yeah.
of nature is more just about survival, where we want more. We're creators. We're all constantly creating better in our mind and better for our children and better for next generations. And we want a better day and we want a better job and we want more time off and we want all those things. That's what that can help us do. And remember that. That's what we want it to help us achieve. More time off, more fun and family, friends, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It can create all that for us.
Yeah,
But it's up to us to keep it honest. Yeah.
Yeah, good call, Martin. Yeah, we are not the fear mongering channel. You know,
No.
10 years ago, I think my dad and I would have it would have been a very different channel. You know, I think it would have been more a little more tinfoil hat, a little more even on our Patreon, Dad. I love how much positivity we inject into it. You know, that 10 years ago
Yeah.
would have been more of that. Oh man, like we didn't even really know anything about crypto, right? You know, we would have been this man. We're just stuck in this system of
Yeah.
I can't say the word on here, but you know, it's it's really cool. It's really cool that we're not that, and we got a lot of comments. You know, Northern's had so many good comments today. I want to get to some of those real fast, but it's you know he shouted out too. He's like, you know, thank you all, you know, for being easy to talk to, you know, or like-minded people.
Yeah.
And it's number one, folks, on here. It's community, man.
It
And
is.
I know, you know, Pappy over here and myself are just going to try to create a positive one in our life and the people around us.
With or
Uh,
without you guys.
yeah, right. Exactly.
I'd rather do it with you guys, but yeah.
Yeah. I got hugs for all of you in Vegas, especially Northern. Uh, you know, apparently he doesn't have a choice, and I don't have a choice in that.
No.
We're
No.
huggers, and so that's
Yeah.
what we do.
Yeah.
Um, he brought up, I think,
Ace Ventura.
if you had any comments on Deaton versus Warren. I've
Um,
avoided that lately. I have no comments on the matter.
I do. Go Deaton. Um, I hope he crushes her. I, I don't know what chance he has of beating her, but I wish I lived in Massachusetts so I could vote. But that's about all I can say about it at this point. I
Yeah.
I hope he wins because that crazy old bat's got to go. You know, I just don't see any redeeming qualities in the woman. I really don't. She's a fear monger, and she just really like she's just a the person that walks in a party and brings the whole mood down. It's like what? We don't need her. Yeah.
Yeah, like MC said, you know, she's the 1%, you know, peeing on us and telling us it's raining.
Right. Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Essentially. Yeah.
I yeah.
I know who sponsors her, and I know who sponsors John Deaton. So what else do you need to know? You know, one man truly is not part of the system, and it cares about people, and he portrayed that he represented 69,000 or whatever it was people in the army in a case he didn't need to and did anyway. And she's a spokesperson for the banking system. You know, what else do you need to know? We need more John Deatons. I don't even care what political party they're in. We need more people like him in government. who cares, who came from nothing, who brought himself up to be what he is today, made himself that because he cared about doing what's right for people, okay? Not for just himself, for the people around him. And like, I don't know what happened to our government. Maybe it's always been that way, but it seems like they don't care about the people anymore. And that's a shame because I'm pretty sure that's what their job title is. So,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know what happened. I don't know
Seems-
where the disconnect happened, but
yeah.
yeah, I heard something the other day, and I was like, "Wow, that's got to be true." He couldn't have said it.
Oh,
What's her name?
goodness.
I forgot her name, but AOC, the politician from Florida. Um,
Uh,
anyway, she
uh,
she was in debt when she came into office. Her net worth is $13 million today. Within 4 years, she was in debt the day she was elected.
how'd that happen?
On 150 grand a
Where her
year.
moon come from? How come she have Lambo? I know have Lambo.
I mean, that kind of stuff's just gotta like what? How do we not just have that person explain that in front of a lot of people? How can you explain this, Miss AOC? Like, why is nobody asking that question? You know,
They're
how did
not
you obtain this?
held accountable. They are not held accountable.
No,
I'll
they're not
say it
held
about my
accountable.
I'll say it about my countrymen first. We are weak, man. We are sapped. We have let them run amok,
Wait a
folks.
minute, who started the politics rant?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Well, there's some good comments, Dad. You gotta let me see if I can bring some juice to it. Uh, I'll watch the debate if it's televised. Warren is a bad person. She's one of them. John is a fighter.
yeah,
Warren
he
is
is.
afraid. She's starting to say that Bitcoin is good. She will lose
She's
because
starting to say that.
we know where she stands.
Oh yeah, she's.
Talking about, folks. That's what I'm talking about. Let's put it out there. Let's put it
I
out
would
there.
just walk up to the podium and I would just go, she's not an Indian. Okay. So let's just start there and then work our way to honesty, shall we?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's where I'd go with it if I was John.
Hoopty is shocked, Dad, that she is a millionaire now. Shocked. You
I,
know? You know? Me too. This
yeah.
is crazy.
I'm sure she's really trying hard for the rest of the people though.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that, digital. I didn't know that at
Yeah.
all.
I mean, the fact that we have lobbyists is criminal. That's a criminal act, in my opinion. You know,
Mhm.
this is why crypto is not mainstream. We don't have any lobbyists.
Yeah.
You got to grease the wheel, unfortunately. You know,
The last
and
corporation I worked for didn't have a union. Um, so I don't work there anymore. Is
oh,
what happened there, you know?
yeah,
And that's
I
just
get it.
yet if you don't have representation, that's what we are. That's what we get to be, Dad. We get to represent this thing. We get to own it. We get to use it. We get to support people and creators and products and, you know, talk
Well,
to
that's what
people
every
who are interested in it or
yeah,
arguing against it. Like,
yeah,
we get to be the representatives. We get to be strong in this now.
yeah.
And unfortunately, we've lost some ground in some battles with these lobbyists and politicians in Washington here.
Yeah, we
This is
have.
this is a new shot, man. This is a
Yeah.
new time.
And when you say we, you mean everybody in crypto.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The royal
We,
we.
yeah.
We. Yeah, not just talking about you and me ever on that.
No, I know. I know. But it's a good point to make because we are all now the spokespeople, if you will, um, for the future of money or the future of labor, the transfer of value from labor to value and back from value back to labor has to be honest. And that's the goal. That's the goal is to get your job. I say this all the time, mainly because I run a small, very tiny, small little farm. But why is the farmer not the wealthiest man in your town? He has arguably the most important job in your town,
Yeah.
in your country. He feeds people. So beyond food, I'm not sure what's more important. And the system created futures markets and other manipulations through grain prices and through subsidies and other things, and they enslaved them. And they enslaved the price action to keep inflation, food costs down. Okay. But they did it through enslaving the farmers,
Mhm.
therefore stealing the wealth of the farmer. Okay. And padding their own pockets. He should be the wealthiest people in the country because he has the most important jobs. It's funny we don't see it that way anymore, but 100 years ago they were the most important people in the community, and now it's oh, he's just a pig farmer, or he raises cows. It's a big damn deal, or
Yeah.
whatever, grows corn or wheat. Yeah, okay. Well, eliminate the farmers and then see how your day goes. We can do without Wall Street. Like all of us will eat just fine. We'll have clean water and electricity. We'll have everything we need because you and I provide all of that. We provide the stuff people need: shelter. We're plumbers, we're electricians, we help people, we fix their homes, we build homes, we help them eat, we pack the grocery stores with food, we drive the trucks to bring it there. Wall Street and Washington aren't necessary in that equation. Nowhere in that equation do they exist in you and
Yep.
your health and happiness anywhere. And they've made themselves more important.
Dad, Becky said,
Sad.
farmers are the only businesses that have to buy retail and sell wholesale.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
we got a good question from Northern. What is the exit strategy? Real estate, insurance, infinite banking, farming, all the above?
Yeah. I would put another one in there. Earnings from your crypto. Okay. Number one, to try to preserve as many of your cryptos as humanly possible and to generate income and generational wealth with it. Then I would put probably infinite banking. And then I would put a bunch of different investment strategies. I'm less of a real estate guy than a lot of people are. I I only because on a principle level, I just don't believe in real estate. I believe you can make a lot of money in real estate, but I don't think that's really what's helping mankind. It's just making real estate more and more expensive. And there's just generations to come who can't afford to live somewhere. And it's because people who have a lot of money have a lot of real estate, and their assets keep going up, and then they buy more real estate, and that just makes it more expensive for the people who are simply just trying to put a roof over their heads. So on a fundamental level, I don't like real estate in that sense. It's not uh, then again, I'm a bit of a landlord, but I mean, I'm a really honest and fair one. But like, I don't I don't think I'm hoping we can live in a world where the future of real estate is for substance, not uh, greed or profitability. If that
Yeah,
makes sense.
totally. I got into economics because essentially, yeah, like dad quizzed me about earlier, the creation of derivatives.
Yeah,
And, in that same period of time, look at predatory lending. And predatory lending and everything that was allowed to go on in real estate has sent it into this boom.
yeah.
Like, yeah, it's got corrections and, crashes and foreclosures amok, but what's it gone back to in
Yeah.
a decade plus? Higher than it's
What
ever
you
been.
what you've
And
done essentially, I'm sorry, what you've done essentially is you've leveraged people on a 30-year contract to be a debt slave for 30 years, only to increase the value of the property, to therefore increase taxation. So even if you pay for your property and you own it outright, your property taxes constantly go up and up and up and up. And eventually it becomes, depending on how long ago you bought the house and how long ago you retired, it becomes a massive payment in your life. You never own your property outright. So what was the biggest way for them to borrow and lend more money was to inflate the prices of real estate. And they did it through 0% interest, and they did it intentionally. And all that's happened in my lifetime. People in the 50s and 60s didn't buy real estate for an investment. They bought it because they needed the land, or they used the land, or they, buying their kids a house or something. But, now it's gotten to the point where, I think there's, what was it? 1/3 of all the purchases in the last 5 years are for Airbnb, which is pure profit, right? That's just a
yeah,
business model, which has increased the revenues in the area, obviously, but it's also increased your taxation and massively. That's a whole nother show. I don't even want to get into that.
and
I think I just did.
we did. We got
Yeah.
all into it.
Yeah.
Anything else for us, crew? We're 2.5 now.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. Thank you all for being here with us. Let's just call it good.
Yeah.
Um,
Good is
man,
good, right?
we missed you all the last couple weeks. Yeah, I'm good for next Sunday, Dad. You good for next Sunday?
Yeah,
Bells on?
let's do it. As far as I know, anyway, you never know what comes up.
Yeah. We'll we'll
But I
do our
love my
best on it,
Sundays.
everybody. We love being here with you. Usually we do them in this time frame, Sundays, 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock Pacific. So yeah.
I was going to
Get a
tell a
lot of
really
people.
big. I was going to
What's
tell a
that?
really big story today, but I can't. I'm going to tell it next week. Remind me, Brent. I have to tell a good story.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll think of one too. Thank you all so much for being here with us and being our community. Again, check out Ghost Money. He's in here with the chat with us every single week.
Yep.
Seems like a really good guy. And he's making a really solid start to his YouTube channel.
Yeah,
And
he is.
it's stuff like that we're all talking about. So please check him out. And yeah, thank
Check
you
out
all.
Simon,
Love you all.
Dipato,
Yeah.
and Melissa.
Yeah. Simon says crypto, Vita broadcast. And then we also are big fans of Conscious Contact. I know he was in here today too.
Yeah,
That's
he's
our
going to be in
community.
Vegas.
That's our community of channels. So please check them out.
Yeah. And I will see you guys next weekend. Oh, I have a video coming out in 2 days.
Beautiful.
So, yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for being